So instead of the Glenmorangie, I figured I'd give you guys a list today. We're going to be going over 7 whiskey brands that I don't buy from very much. So these aren't the bad brands. These are the meh brands. I just walk past them at the store. I don't give them a second thought.
I don't add them to any of my lists.
Agree.
Whether it's a sherry cask or a bourbon cask or whatever, I don't ever add Aberfeldy to any of my lists. Hi everyone, Swati and Vinayak from the Dram Club. Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world of whiskeys and spirits from across the world. But today we are doing something different. Vinayak, we always recommend what to buy, what not to buy, give our opinions, right?
Right.
Today we have something interesting to do.
Okay.
I came across this video by this channel called G Whisky.
Okay.
And the video said 7 whiskey brands I will never buy.
Okay.
So I have not seen the video yet.
Okay.
I wanted us to do this together.
Impromptu.
Yes.
Okay.
And just see whether whatever he's saying, does his opinion relate to us or do we think about it differently?
Okay. Got it. Fair.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm going to start the video.
Sure.
Thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and every once in a while throw on other whiskey-related content. Today, I've got a list for you guys. We're going to be going over 7 brands of whiskey that I just don't buy from very much. So it should be interesting. Stick around. All right, so I want to start off by apologizing because lately I've been doing a run-through of all the Glenmorangie releases that I have, and I had the 18 scheduled for today, but we're going to have to push that back because I don't know if you can tell from my voice,
seems
but
like
I'm
a very
little bit
recent
sick, so I
video.
couldn't
Yeah.
script the video. I
Because
definitely
these-
could.
Yeah.
This seems like a very recent video because he's showing the Glenmorangie Infinita,
Yeah.
which is a fairly. When was the video?
It was 8 months ago. So
Oh,
it's
so
less
Infinita
than,
has been around for
Yeah.
but it's like not a very old video.
yeah, it's less than a year ago.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
To shoot the video because I can neither smell nor taste. And when you're doing a whiskey review, smelling and tasting things is helpful. So instead of the Glenmorangie, I figured I'd give you guys a list today. We're going to be going over 7 whiskey brands that I don't buy from very much. And listen, I know this is going to upset a lot of people because you could construe this list as leaning a little bit negative. I get that. But for the record, I'm not saying these are bad brands. Just brands I don't really buy from. It's like oatmeal at the grocery store. I know that oatmeal is a perfectly fine breakfast. I do not register it when I'm reaching for the Honey Nut Cheerios, which are absolutely packed with sugar and contain an unhealthy amount of modified cornstarch. They also contain a high level of glyphosate residue, which is a potentially toxic herbicide, and, quote, a concerning amount of tripotassium phosphate. Now, I don't know what tripotassium phosphate is, but it sounds delicious. Anyway, if you happen to be a fan of any of these brands or you think they make good stuff, if there's a bottle from them that you want to recommend to me, that might be something I'd be willing to try. You know, I'm being open-minded here. And as always, this is just an opinion. Got to double down on that for a video like this. I'll see all you angry boys down below in the comments. Oh, and one last thing. When I talk about the brand, I don't want to just show...
He only says boys. Why not girls? As if girls don't drink whiskey or what?
Anyway, that's enough rambling. Let's get into this list. All right, kicking off our list at number 7, we have Tamnagar. But Jeff, I hear you say, did you not review a Tamnagar not that long ago? Yeah, I did. I'm not saying these are brands that I have never bought. I just don't, usually. Now, is Tamnagar a bad brand? No, I wouldn't even say so. I think a lot of their releases are pretty okay considering the price. Some of them are kind of meh. But for the most part, most of the whiskeys are sippable and decent, and they don't break the bank. It's easy whiskey, it's unpretentious whiskey, which is why it finds itself at the back of this list. I don't have a problem with Tamnagar, I just usually ignore them, and that's a me thing. That's just because I tend to be kind of a princess, and I go for whiskeys with a little bit more character. I understand why the market has brands like this.
So I think I agree on Tamnagar. I've had a couple of expressions. Never wowed me. So
Okay.
it's yeah. So even if I come across a Tamnagar at a shelf, I will skip it.
Actually, I've not had a lot of Tamnagar to kind of have an opinion about it.
Okay.
It's not available in India.
Yeah.
And even when I think, traveled outside, I don't think I've ever gone to look for a Tamnagar even at a bar or even at a shop.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an opinion on whether it's good or bad or passing.
So, but if you see it at on a duty free or at a whiskey store,
Yeah.
would you pick it up or would you skip it?
See, unless it's an interesting cask, I wouldn't.
Okay.
And like at duty frees, I've not found it to be
Got
the
it.
cask types that are interesting for me
Got
to
it.
see.
Number 6 is Aberfeldy. This is a brand that showed up on my patrons list last month. This is a brand I've had a few expressions from, and I haven't They've never done much for me. They weren't bad, but you're not going to remember them, or at least I didn't. Or I guess I do remember them because I'm talking about them, but I remember not really remembering them. Don't think about it too much.
I think I partially agree with him because as a distillery, Aberfeldy hasn't stood out much. Because I remember, Aberfeldy 12 is a really good whiskey, right? It's very approachable, very light, delicate for the price point. But again, which was, I think, it just, so 12 apart, I think I recently had the 18-year-old. I wasn't overly impressed with that. Then remember 2 years ago when we were at the distillery, we had the limited edition of the 25-year-old, which was really good. But then again, comparing a 25-year-old, I mean, how often are you going to buy a 25-year-old? So I sort of agree with him partially that the distillery sort of hasn't done enough probably to sort of stand out, and so that you see a bottle of Aberfeldy, oh yes, I'm going to buy it. Like let's say it happens when I see a bottle of Bruichladdich, for example, which is a very small distillery. I would want to buy that Bruichladdich because I know every new bottle or every even current expression of Bruichladdich is very appealing. They do something new. They do something very unique.
I think for me personally, Aberfeldy plays it safe, which is where I have a problem. Like, I would possibly recommend an Aberfeldy 12-year-old to someone who's just getting into whiskeys because it's easy, light and approachable. But is the range above that for a nuanced palate? Not really. Like the core expressions, I never feel like I don't add them to any of my lists. Whether it's a sherry cask or a bourbon cask or whatever, I don't ever add Aberfeldy to any of my lists. 12, yes, maybe for a newbie. So I think I partially agree with them. Agree with him. Aberfeldy 25 again was a great whiskey, but limited edition, not easily available, affordable. So yeah, I think they played it safe, tried to make crowd pleasers. So people with nuanced palates and who are really enthusiasts, I think they could give a pass on Aberfeldy.
Number 5 is Talibarns. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, somebody will chime in. This is another one of those simple, easy, affordable brands. I do not hate them. I think this one will get a few people riled up though, because they have some bottles, I wouldn't call their bottles popular, but they have some bottles that are, I don't know, semi-popular. There's a reason it's not more towards the front of this list. It's never really impressed me, but the price is okay, and the whiskey, yeah, not bad. But for the time being at least, I don't feel that compelled to explore much other stuff from them. Maybe I should, but it's number 5.
So I think again I agree with him because I think one Talibarns that really wowed me was the Talibarns 25-year-old.
Right.
But then that has been discontinued. So so if I come across a Talibarns at a whiskey store or anywhere, I may probably skip it again. But yeah, if it's a 25-year-old, because it has been discontinued, I'll probably pick it up. But yeah, rest of the expression, because I have been at the distillery as well. So it's decent, nothing wow.
Right. I think I'm not too familiar with Talibarns' core range because it's not available in India. Some of the expressions that I have tried have been through independent bottlers.
Okay.
So that's not something that really shows the distillery character because it would be very, very different. So I don't have an opinion on how Talibarns is it a good whiskey or a bad whiskey.
Got it.
But I would definitely, because it's a brand that I've not tried, I would personally want to try it if I went to a bar and a restaurant.
Number 4 is Jura, the whipping boy of the whiskey industry. Now this one was number 1 on my patrons list last month, and I get it. This is not a brand that has ever really impressed me. Similar to Tamnagar, at least it is cheap. And yeah, there's IBs out there. Those can be a mixed bag. Of course, they're going to be better than the standard stuff. But yeah, the standard OB stuff goes great with a bowl of oatmeal. And it's funny, I got quite a few comments when this was number 1 in the last video. Some people were upset. A lot of people kind of defended it, saying it's cheap, affordable, available supermarket fare. Don't expect great things, but it does serve its purpose. I can't argue with that. That's fair. Again, I'm not saying it's bad whiskey. This list is not about brands that I think are bad. This list is about brands that I don't usually buy. I couldn't tell you the last time I picked up an OB Jura. It's been a very long time. So it fits perfectly here. Comes in at number 4, Jura.
I agree. I wouldn't buy a Jura.
Okay, I like the Jura 80. It's a wine cask finish.
Yeah, okay.
I like it. But In general, I think I find the distillery confused in terms of what is it that they're really looking to do. Because the 10, 12 are a very different style of whiskey, then 18 is very different. Some of their non-age statements are again I don't find a singular distillery character coming through in any of the whiskeys. So yeah, in general, I just find them confusing in terms of what is it that they want to do.
I think one of the better Juras that I've had and that I don't mind buying is the Jura 19-year-old. I think it's called the Paps. It's a duty-free. I think that's one of the better whiskeys that I've picked up from a duty-free. It's not very expensive. A 19-year-old Jura was, I think, for 7,500, 8,000 rupees at duty-free. So that is a really good whiskey for the price.
Number 3 is Royal Lucknagar. This is a brand I often see at the shops. It's pretty much everywhere in Taiwan. But we'll put it this way. It's a brand I see with my eyes, but I don't see them with my heart. My wallet doesn't notice them either. The only thing I've had from them is the 12, and again, not bad. You're probably going to pick up on a theme here. None of these whiskeys I dislike. I find them not very interesting. And that's not the premise of this list. This is brands I don't buy because they're just not interesting enough. They don't give me enough character. As I said, I'm a princess and I have standards. Anyway, the point is these cheap casual whiskeys do deserve a place in the market as simple entry-level bottles. You know, stuff that's easy to like, but also easy to forget. And while you may feel differently, for me, Royal Lucknagar 12 does fit that description, which is why I haven't really been compelled to explore much else from the range, which is why it sits at number 3 today. Royal Lucknagar.
I haven't had a Royal Lucknagar before, but yeah, probably if I come across, I haven't heard enough about the distillery, so I'll skip it probably.
Yeah, I also think I have not read any stellar reviews of any of the expressions. I think I've tried the 12-year-old. Given the fact that I'm not being able to remember what it was like, clearly I think his and my minds are attuned into this. And yeah, I have not tried a lot of it, but I've also not read a lot of it.
Got it, yeah.
Number 2 is Cardu, another brand that I always just walk straight past. I have tried some stuff from them. I've tried the 12, and I think I've tried the 18 too, although I can't be sure because I don't really remember. It's too safe, it's too engineered, it's too bland. Again, I'm looking for whiskey with character, and you might get more character and stuff like the Diageo special releases, but I'm not going to seek them out. Very fitting for number 2, at least for me.
So I think I agree on the Cardu bit. We've bought 12, we've bought 18. And I think there was another Amber Rock also that we've tried. Yeah, and we've never bought Cardu again. So I will not buy it. And also for me, I remember when he's talking about the Diageo special releases, and every year Cardu is also a part of Diageo special releases. But I don't seek out Cardu because in Diageo's portfolio, you have special releases from Lagavulin, Talisker, Klein-Elish, which I sort of prefer buying.
I remember liking the Cardu 18-year-old.
Okay.
Unfortunately, again, it's not available in India. But I when I visited the distillery, I definitely had liked the 18-year-old. That's why I booked it. I would like to see more from the distillery. But yes, like he said, I don't think the Diageo focuses so much on it because a lot of it goes into the blends, and it's one of the whiskeys that goes into Johnny Walker blends, etc. Everything. But yeah, I very distinctly remember liking the 18-year-old when I had tried it.
Number 1 is Dufftown. Yet another not terrible generic whiskey with all the personality of a doorknob. To contextualize, I would describe the Dufftown flavor as whiskey. I would describe the drinking experience as smooth. And I would describe the overall experience as okay. I've only tried the 12 and the 18 from them. Again, this is a Diageo product, and they do have some special releases. I think the last one was from a few years back, and I hear it was okay. It probably was. It's obviously much more expensive. It's cask strength, and if the interest was there, I'd seek it out. It's not there. By the way, if you're not familiar with Dufftown, as I said, it's a Diageo brand. It's under the Singleton umbrella, where you'll find other brands like Glen Ord, which is actually okay at times, and Glendullan, which is something I've never tried. But man, Dufftown, it's one of those whiskeys, like you can drink it, but it's just resoundingly meh, which is why I felt it was fitting of the number 1 spot. So there we go. Number 1 is Dufftown.
So I think So he's talking about the singleton. What we get in India is a singleton of Glendale.
Yeah.
But again, in terms of Diageo's positioning of singleton, they call it a recruitment malt.
Right.
So that's where, again, it's like, it may not be for evolved palates, but it's for people, it's primarily targeted towards people who sort of want to try whiskey. So hence, intentionally, the flavor profile has been kept mellow, approachable, very light, and also so that it's easy for mixing. But having said that, I think given the light, delicate profile of singleton, I think some of the best singletons that I have had, the cast strength singletons.
Yeah.
Because again, part of Diageo's special annual release, and I think there was a 138 or a 40-year-old singleton that I've had. That's again phenomenal. Yeah, I mean the core expression is to recruit people into whiskey drinking. So hence it, and which understandably so. It cannot have anything like, very bold flavor profile. So, so I agree with him on this one as well.
Yeah, I think because people are making their way into whiskey, so you don't want to have whiskeys that put them off. And hence you don't want something extremely peated or extremely heavily sherried, It's not as Diageo doesn't have that. They do.
Yeah.
But I think the way they've positioned this brand is for people who are getting into whiskeys. And I think we were at the distillery in 23. So in the tasting, they had also given us two cast strength whiskeys to try, and I think both of them were beautiful. Very light, very easy sipping, but still cast strength whiskeys. So there was a lot of character. So I think it's living up to what the brand really wants to do. So again, it's a personal preference whether you like that style of whiskey or not. But for someone who's getting initiated into whiskeys, I think Singleton is a safe choice.
Okay, that was the list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And for the last time, this is just an opinion. Now, I probably shouldn't say that. I've already said that countless times in this video. But I do feel like at this point, I'm justifying, I'm defending myself too much. People are going to complain no matter what. Did I get a little bit sassy in this video? Yes, I did. You guys can deal with it. It's just for fun. It's just a drink. Now, with all that out of the way, I do want to hear from you guys. So what are your meh whiskeys? What are the whiskey brands that you don't hate? You just don't think about them.
Name one whiskey brand that is meh for you.
I think it has to be a bit of a recency bias because G Whiskey brought it up.
Okay.
So probably, I think for me it would be the Jura.
Okay.
Because especially the 10 and 12, I'm never going to buy it. Wine cask finish is still better, but I think it would be the Jura 10 and 12, I'm definitely walking past. Why don't you tell your main whiskey brand?
I think I'm going to get a lot of hate, but I don't think any of the Amruts in India are worth my time.
Okay.
Like I just genuinely, I've tried the fusion, I've tried the amalgam, I've tried the amalgam peated. I also tried the Triparva, but I just don't find myself wanting to buy or spend my money on Amrut. So that's something I just don't like at all.
But you like Amruts from outside?
Like I've tried a couple of their cast strength or releases for the international market. There was one which was a port pipe. Porto Nova. That I really liked. But I think their portfolio which is there in the Indian market is very, very underwhelming. So yes, that was our quick reaction on this video. And we also given you one brand that we would not buy or walk past. Let us know in the comments below which one brand of whiskey underwhelmed you and you wouldn't buy it again. And also please mention in the comments if there are any other such videos that you would want us to react to. And please like and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.